Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here for another feeding frenzy for the Abundance book by John Randolph Price. We're coming to you from the great state of Tennessee and the fabulous city of Chattanooga.
That's right.
As we prepare to bring in the new year.
So we're going to be doing the Abundance book. This is the 40-day prosperity plan. I believe we're ready for day number 5.
All right, what's day number 5 again for us?
It says, money is not my supply. No person, place, or condition is my supply. My awareness, understanding, and knowledge of the all-providing activity of the divine mind within me is my supply. My consciousness of this truth is unlimited. Therefore, my supply is unlimited. Well, tell me.
How hard was this for you to grasp hold of? That first sentence.
Money is not my supply.
Money is not my supply.
I get it. I got it here long before I got it here. I think we're all taught, at least in this society, that life is about going and getting a good job and making a lot of money. And we choose our careers based on how much money we can make. I hear a lot of college seniors, every time you see them, what are you going to major in college? Well, I'd like to major in this, but I can make more money doing this. And I chose the same way the first time. I wanted to be a math teacher, and I thought, they don't make any money. So I didn't do that, you know. So there's been many, many times I wish I'd gone and been a math teacher. How about you?
I like you, had more awareness than I have understanding of that statement. Mm-hmm. Now, as we went through the first time, that 40-day challenge, and meditated on it and had more insight about it, it became easier for me to understand it because I saw it working in my life.
Right.
But I'm like you, I was told the same thing, that your substance comes from the paycheck,
Right.
You can go to the grocery store on the paycheck. You can, pay your rent on the paycheck. And if you don't have the paycheck, you can't do that. I began to understand, however, that money is not my only supply. And the universe, or God, or Spirit, or however you choose to label a higher power, uses more channels than just a paycheck. Mm-hmm. And so as we were doing this, it became easier for me to understand, and I'm now working on the knowing that God is my source.
Not money.
Not money.
Yeah. I think I could say it, and I thought I believed it. I thought I even had it here. But when the rubber met the road, I didn't really trust God with my finances. I said I did, but I was still trying to get that client. And as Edwin said, that was the oldest profession in the book, because I was working for money.
Working at a job you hate for
money.
Taking
clients that I didn't like for money. And she said, that's the oldest profession in the book. Well,
exactly.
Out. I was like, oh. But she was right. I mean, I was doing things I didn't want to do just for the sake of the dollar that I could get out of it. And I have to say that when I started doing the things I wanted to do instead of the things I felt like I had to do, the money started coming in. And I'm still amazed at how it happens. But it does. It just comes in. As long as, I should put this in there, as long as we're tithing, and as long as we are truly trusting God for it, the money seems to come in. Every time I feel like, oh my gosh, where's the money going to come from this month? If I just turn and say, God is my source, somehow it works out.
Now, we're not saying that we quit doing anything whatsoever to serve another person and just play and the money comes.
Right.
What we're saying is, once we chose to follow our intuition or our internal guidance system and do the things that would serve others, but at the same time, it were things that we were good at, that we have talents in, and it was helping someone else, the money literally started coming in.
The key for me was I started getting clients I enjoyed.
Exactly.
Instead of the ones that were draining me.
Exactly.
And just taking all my time and energy, and so I got rid of those, and the good ones just started showing up. So it wasn't that we quit, right? It wasn't that we quit working or that we quit doing anything that we were doing before. Right. We just had a different attitude for one thing, and did it for the joy of doing it.
Right.
We loved our
One
job
thing,
before. It was
yes.
just some of our clients that we didn't like.
One thing that really struck home for me is our Master Prosperity teacher, Edwin Gaines, said to us one time that the reason people want to win the lottery is because they don't trust God.
Yeah.
And man, that really hit home for me.
Mhm.
You know, that was my ow moment.
Yeah.
That was like, wow.
Me too.
I really need to rethink that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did. I spent some time on that. And knowing that God is my supply allowed me to let go of that wishing on a star thinking, too.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
It truly allowed me to know that God is my source.
So no person, place, or condition is my supply.
You believe that?
I do now. It was hard for me the first time we went through this. You know, I think you think of your employer, and for me, it was my clients. They're the ones that bring in the money for me. But
Mhm.
since I've started really paying attention, my money has come from all kinds of unexpected places. People tithing to us, which just blows my mind, and people just sending checks like from insurance or something. You know,
Mhm.
just unexpected money coming from places that I never dreamed. You know.
Mhm.
My awareness, understanding, and knowledge of the all-providing activity of the divine mind within me is my supply. What does that mean to you?
That's another one of those. Once I become aware and start to understand how God works in my life, how the universe moves, how Spirit guides me to lead me to my greater good and to lead me to my supply, whether that's money or goods or services, or do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Once I understand how God moves in my life, then that becomes my source.
Mm-hmm.
I can turn inward and know that God's got this, and I'll be watching for it so that I can do my part and act upon it accordingly. Like we had talked about before, I can pray all day long for a brand new car, and it could be sitting in a lot somewhere or in somebody's driveway somewhere. But if I don't do my part and go get it, then it's still not going to do
Right.
me a lick of good, even though the supply is there.
Right.
I
Well, you
still
could
have to
win
be
the lottery,
waiting. I
but
could
you
be
gotta
winning the
buy the
lottery.
ticket.
If I don't buy the ticket or I don't claim it, then it still does me no
Right.
good as if I've not.
Right. You could even buy the
So-
ticket and not go get it.
Exactly. So I have to be aware and understand that I too have a role in this and making it manifest.
Right.
It's not me doing it, but I have to be awake and looking for those clues.
Right.
You know,
Well,
and
I
listening
believe,
to my internal guidance.
I believe that God gives us those desires, and if we would follow through on those desires instead of talking ourselves out of them. For years, I kept thinking about these programs I could write with the computer, and just kept saying, that'll never work, or I'm not smart enough, or nobody'd want that, or whatever. And I fully believe now that if I had done that back then, when I had those desires, then there's no telling how much money that might have brought in, or other supply that might have brought into
Right.
my life, you know.
Right.
So now, once I'm working on the tools and things I want to be working on because I have those desires, it's still a struggle for me because I still think, well, who's going to want to use this? But I really believe that God will use all of those desires to open up another channel.
Mm-hmm.
Hope so, anyway. My consciousness of this truth is unlimited. Therefore, my supply is unlimited. What does it mean to you that your consciousness of this truth is unlimited?
My consciousness of the activity of God knows no limit.
Mm.
So then my possibilities can't be put in a box.
Right.
And I can't just label it with one small list and be done with it.
Right.
So as long as I'm continuously searching, asking the questions, and waiting for the answers, looking for the answers, and then acting upon them, which is just as important as listening, then my possibilities are endless.
Right.
So my knowledge of God then becomes endless. Because God is endless.
Good stuff. Yes, it is.
Good stuff.
Shrink.